In this question, we are given the following information. We have one number defined by x, and we have another number defined by x plus 20. In addition, we know that the sum of their squares is a minimum. So the first question asks us the equation that could be used to represent the sum of their squares is. So we are going to take our first number x and square it, so we should have x squared. And then we're going to take x plus 20 and square all of it. So it should be brackets x plus 20 all squared. So therefore we'll pick this solution. Notice we have our first term squared, we have our second term squared, and then a sum, so we have a plus sign in between. Next, which graphical representation could be used to represent the sum function? Well, first of all, because we know that our leading coefficient is going to be positive, we have an x squared here, and then when we square this, it's still going to be an x squared. We know that it either has to be graph 1 or graph 2 because they're both opening upwards. From here, we're going to have to do a little bit of work to try and figure out where our vertex is. To determine the vertex, we'll first start with our original equation. Y is equal to x squared plus x plus 20 all squared. From here, what we'll do is we'll use the distributive property to put this into general form, and then from general form, we'll complete the square to put it into vertex form. So let's get started. X plus 20 all squared we'll write as x plus 20 and an x plus 20. From here, we'll distribute out the x and x is x squared, x times 20 is 20x, 20 times x is 20x, and finally 20 times 20 is 400. From here, we'll gather our like terms, noticing that we have an x squared and x squared, which makes 2x squared, and 20x and 20x is 40x. Now we're in general form, and we can go and complete the square. Factoring a 2 from our first two terms gives us the following, such that we have an x squared plus 20x in our brackets. Now we'll take the 20x and we'll divide it in half and square it, which generates 100 and negative 100. The negative 100 will be multiplied by the leading coefficient 2, which gives us negative 200. We'll gather our like terms with the negative 200 and the positive 400, which gives us a positive 200. Then finally, we can take the x squared plus 20x plus 100 and complete the square, which gives us the equivalent x plus 10 all squared. From here, we can determine a number of different things. We know that our vertex is the ordered pair negative 10 and 200. In addition, we also know what the two numbers are. We have one number that would be negative 10, and we know that the other number is 20 more than that, so it must be positive 10. And then lastly, we know that this 200 right here tells us that we have a minimum value of 200. Now that we know that the vertex is at the ordered pair negative 10 and 200, we know that graph 1 is our solution. Finally, we need to answer C. Which statement is true? Well, we determined that we have two numbers, the numbers being negative 10 and 10, and we know that the minimum value of the sum of the squares is 200. So we've answered our three questions. Let's check our solutions, and we are correct.